In this segment, Stephanie Miller is joined by Charlie Pierce. Together, they recap a dizzying few days in the media landscape. Here's Stephanie.
You quoted Politico on this. The Republicans' 300-page-plus bill amounts to a legislative wish list of measures that have no future in the Senate, whose Democratic leaders have joined Biden in refusing to negotiate policy changes as part of the debt ceiling. They argue that lawmakers should raise the borrowing cap and avert global economic havoc without conditions, as Congress repeatedly did under former President Trump. So that's where we are. And he doesn't have...
That's pretty much. And we've lost the the nuanced wisdom of Tucker Carlson, the guy that's I don't know if it's possible to go on.
Were you shocked? What was your?
I was thinking, we were talking before I came on. I was just sifting through all the pieces of Don Lemon's departure when all of a sudden this, it was like there was this little earthquake and then this major aftershock.
Right. It was like when sadly Farrah Fawcett had to pick the same day to die as Michael Jackson.
Right. Oh, I see. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Yeah. Anyway, what was I saying?
Oh, sorry.
I honestly believe that it's the Abby Grossberg stuff that did him in.
Yeah.
I think the revelations in that lawsuit are going to be awful. And more than that, they're going to be easily understood.
Yeah. I was wondering that and the January 6th stuff and Ray Epps and all of that. I think it could have been just a tipping point, I guess.
Well, no, I mean, see, that's the thing. I think the Abby Grossberg stuff was, the one more damn thing that this was a very Murdoch move, by the way.
Yeah.
When Murdoch wants you done for, you're done for. Yeah. And he doesn't call you in and give you a gold watch.
Yeah.
He changes the lock on your door.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yep.
All of a sudden your key card doesn't work and there's a food truck in your parking space.
So, speaking of losers, you write, McCarthy isn't a good enough politician for this fight, which can be either good or bad. The best result is he gets negotiated out of his socks and underwear by the White House and the Democrats in the Senate. The worst result is he's either so dumb or so cowed that he actually sends us over the brink. I mean, McCarthy is the one that might be dumb enough to actually send us over the brink.
See, that's the thing. I never really thought in my heart of hearts that Boehner or Ryan would do it.
Right.
Because they're smart. They were smart enough, and Boehner had enough lucid moments that they would look at it and say, "No, this is really bad." But I don't think McCarthy's smart or brave enough to hold off his caucus. I mean, it's very plain that most of his caucus doesn't know what the debt ceiling is or doesn't care.
Yeah.
Because if he's out there talking about reining in spending, the debt ceiling is paying off spending that we've already spent.
Yeah. We have to explain this every time.
Yep.
Yes, exactly. I love a caller to C-SPAN, actually, someone named Diane. Hi, Diane. Thanks for calling. She said Joe Biden devoted most of his presidency to cleaning up the horrendous mess of Donald Trump and Republicans around the world, not just in the United States, but around the world. And if McCarthy wouldn't have been castrated and his privates transplanted onto Marjorie Taylor Greene and some of these other Republican senators believed in the big lie, which we now know never happened all over the country, the electorate, or whatever, this country wouldn't be so in the sewer. Oh, thank you, Diane. Let's hope there's a lot of Dianes out there on the day that Joe Biden announces.
And the C-SPAN host responded with, "Let's go to the Republican line now."
Yes.
And now the opposing.
Where Cletus from Huntsville has been holding.
Let's talk about Jim Jordan.
I'm telling you, the world could end and C-SPAN would be the one the place you wanted to go, because their host would be, Finland just fell into the sea.
Yeah.
Let's look at the Democrats.
There's no emotion on that channel at all.
I mean, honest to God, they make NPR sound like the Chambers Brothers.
Yeah.
Let's talk Supreme Court for a minute, temporarily, right?
For the moment, yeah. I mean, I'm honestly trying to figure out what Alito's game is here. You're a Supreme Court justice, dude.
Yeah.
Lighten up. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Have a drink. Go strip search somebody.
A good suggestion. You also wrote a piece. Jim Jordan has been frustrated in his attempts to frustrate Alvin Bragg, a federal judge who the previous president picked out of a Federal Society hiring hall. Ruled that the Manhattan DA, that Mark Pomerantz had to answer one of Jordan's subpoenas. So the whole matter will grind on through the courts, frustrating Jordan's attempts to frustrate Bragg's investigation. I just don't think, like most things, this will end well for Jim Jordan. Do you?
Well, I don't understand why he's insisting on Pomerantz.
Yeah. I know.
Pomerantz left the DA's office because it wasn't being tough enough on Trump.
Exactly. Right.
What does he hope to get from Pomerantz?
I think he's trying
At best, he's going to get a bunch of no comments.
Right. I think. Yeah.
I don't understand this. I don't understand this one at all. Of course, I mean, except in the context of the fact that Jordan is completely floundering now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't think this is going to go well for him, and I think what Bragg also gets to have someone there, right? An attorney with him. Sure. So I don't know what Jordan thinks he's going to get, but I think he's trying to use him to prove that this was all political, that Pomerantz had a political axe to. I don't. Yeah. Anyway.
It's not there anymore.
Yeah, right. But so they didn't do the prosecution. How is that?
Is Jordan a lawyer? I don't think so.
No.
He's a wrestling coach that ignored things.
He impresses me as being an unusually successful, farm implement dealer.
Yeah, he's a wrestling coach.
Yes. Yeah. Lost in all the wackadoos that we're finding out in all these election fraud cases, you wrote a piece about Cleta Mitchell. You said the Republican Party can't reform until they jettison people. You said not to put too fine a point on it. Ms. Mitchell is a flaming wackadoo. She was intimately involved in decisions vital to the white shoe end of Trump's efforts to overturn the election. She advised the former president on his now infamous "Find Me the Boats" phone call to Raffensperger, which is about as involved in the plot as you can get. The Fani Willis thought so too. She subpoenaed Mitchell to testify to her grand jury. No serious reform of the Republican Party is possible until it jettisons people like Mitchell, and inviting her to an RNC donors summit is far from that. She just was speaking there. So, Charlie, should we be?
I mean, these are phone calls. If you're really trying to reform your party, these are phone calls you don't take anymore.
Right.
I mean, of course, I agree with everything I said there, by the way.
Yes. You,
in case you're wondering, I
endorse these remarks.
I'm all in favor of everything I wrote, whatever it was.
What do you make of Fani Willis talking about? She's an exact July to September. That would be the time frame. What do you make of that? I mean, she's obviously.
I'm going to go along with whoever it was on TV, which one of the former federal prosecutors was on TV, who said that she's basically softening up the ground.
Yeah.
Right.
But also, I think she's flipped some of the electors.
Yep.
And she's getting a whole bunch of stuff she didn't have before.
Right. Yeah. And the RICO case may be expanding. I mean, with what we're learning, right, about stolen voter data.
She can't bring a RICO case. RICO's federal.
I thought you
I
could.
think Georgia has a smaller version of that, like New York does.
Do they?
Yeah.
A little RICO.
Yeah, Little RICO.
Yeah, Little RICO.
Mother of mercy is at the end of RICO.
The old I Love Lucy, Little RICO.
RICO.
I remember when Little Rico was born.
Babaloo. Exactly.
Babaloo.
And E. Jean Carroll trial starting today.
I presume there's no cameras in the courtroom for that, right?
It's New York, so no.
Damn, no.
Yeah. That's too bad. Good for her. Get all you can, lady.
Yep.
The court, the court, whatever they call it, the artists, the courtroom artists are having a field day with him.
Yeah.
They're really revenging themselves on him.
Yeah.